Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Oh. Nara Caitanya. Before of God, so we are reading from the third canto, chapter 4. Third canto is entitled The Status Quo. So the first one was cosmic manifestation, secondary creation, and then status quo, third one. And we are reading from a text 29 from chapter 4 entitled Vidura Approaches Maitreya. So Srimad Bhagavatam 3:429. Oh, Rukmini says she's not hearing me well. Is that also others don't all hear me well?
Yeah, it's like interrupted. Your voice is interrupted.
Uh-huh.
Change it. Okay, how about now?
Is it better now?
Much better.
Much better.
Yes, yes.
I was perfect for Bhaktadevan though. Go figure. You know, like there is so many electronic involved and so many networks. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from third canto, chapter 4, entitled Vidura Approaches Maitreya, and we are on text 29. So we'll look at Sanskrit words first. Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Sri Sukha Uvacha.
Brahmasapa Shapa.
Brahmashapa.
Apadeshena.
Apadeshena.
Karena.
Kalena.
Amoga.
Ga.
Vanchita.
Vanchita.
Samritya.
Samritya.
Swa.
Sva.
Spitam.
Svitam.
Tyakshan.
Chakshan.
Deham.
Deham.
Achintayat.
Achintayat.
Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Sri Sukha Uvacha.
Vamashapa Padeshena.
Saba. Deshena.
Kalena Moga Vanchitaha.
Vanchita.
Samritya Swakulam Spitam.
Jasvatam Svitam.
Dakshyam Deham Achintayat.
Chakshanteham Achintayat.
Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Shuddha Uvacha.
Vamashapa Padashena.
Brahmasapa Padeshena.
Kalena Moga Vanchita.
Kalinam Vanchita.
Samritya Swakulam Spitam.
Samritya Svakulam Svitam.
Chakshandeham Achintayat.
Chakshanteham Achintayat.
Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Shuka Uvacha.
Vamashapa Padeshena
Brahmasapa-padeshena
Kalena Mogavanshitaha
Kalena mogavanchita
Samvitya Swakulam Spitam
Samhritya svakulam spitam
Dakshandeya Nachintayat
Chakshante amachintayat Shri Shuka Uvacha
Sri Shuka Uvacha
Brahmasapa Padeshena
Vamashapa Padeshena
Kalena Mogavanchita
Kalena Mogavanshitaha
Samhritya Svakulam Spitam
Samvitya Swakulam Spitam
Chakshante amachintayat
Dakshandeham Achintayat. Someone online would like to chant? No volunteers. Okay. Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Shri Shuka Uvacha
Shri Sukadev Goswami said,
Shri Sukadeva Goswami said
Brahmashapa,
Brahmasapa
cursing by the Brahmanas,
cursed by the Brahmins
Apadeshena,
Apadeshena
on the plea by such a show,
on the plea by such a show
Kalina,
Kalina
by the eternal time,
by the eternal time
O Amoga, unfailing,
unfailing
Vanchita,
Vanchita
one who so desires, Samritya,
Samhritya
closing,
closing
Swakulam, own family, Spitam,
Spitam
excessively numerous,
excessively numerous
Jakshan,
Jakshan
after giving up the universal form, Achintayat,
Chinta
though to himself, thought for himself. Yeah. Translation. Shukadev Goswami replied, My dear king, the cursing of the Brahmanas was only a plea, but the actual fact was the supreme desire of the Lord. He wanted to disappear from the face of the earth after dispatching his excessively numerous family members. He thought to himself as follows. That's this kind of verse where it's like a suspense. It's like a TV show. You know, at the end of a TV show, you have like a little thing happening that we want to see the next one. So that's one of those verses. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In this verse, the word Jakshan is very significant in relation to Lord Sri Krishna's leaving his body. Since his eternal form of existence, knowledge, and bliss, his body and his self are identical. Therefore, how it is possible that he would leave his body and then disappear from the vision of the world? There is a great controversy among the non-devotees or Mayavadis about this mysterious disappearance of the Lord and the doubt of those men with a poor fund of knowledge have been very elaborately cleared by Srila Jiva Goswami in his Krishna Sandarbha. According to Brahma Samhita, the Lord has many forms. It is stated therein that the Lord has innumerable forms. And when he appears within the vision of the living entities, as Lord Krishna actually appear all such a form amalgamated with him. Beside all this infallible form, he has his universal form, as manifested before Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Here in this verse, the word spitam is also used, which indicates that he left his gigantic universal form, called the Virat Rupa, not his primary eternal form, because there is hardly any possibility of his changing his form of Sakchit Ananda. This simple understanding is at once realized by the devotee of the Lord, but those who are non-devotees who perform hardly any devotional service to the Lord, either do not understand this simple fact or purposely raise a controversy to defeat the eternity of the transcendental body of the Lord. This is due to the defect called the cheating propensity of the imperfect living entities. By practical experience also, it is seen up to the present day that the Lord's transcendental form is worshipped by devotees in different temples, and all the devotees of the Lord factually realize that the form of the deity in the temple is non-different from the form of the Lord. This inconceivable performance of the internal potency of the Lord is described in Bhagavad Gita 7:25. Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavritaha. The Lord reserves the right of not being exposed to everyone. In the Padma Purana it is said, Ata Shri Krishna namadina bhavet gayam indriye. The name and form of the Lord cannot be perceived by the material senses, but when he appears within the vision of the mundane people, he assumes the form of the Virat Rupa. This is an additional material exhibition of form, and it is supported by the logical of subject and its adjectives. In grammar, when an adjective is taken away from the subject, the subjective modifier does not change. Similarly, when the Lord quits his Virat Rupa, his eternal form does not change. Also, there is no material difference between himself and any one of his innumerable forms. In the 5th canto, it will be seen how the Lord is worshipped in different planets, in different forms, even now, and how he is worshipped in different temples of this earth also. Srila Jiva Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur have very elaborately explained this incident of the Lord's disappearance in their commentaries, quoting various authentic versions of Vedic literatures. We purposely do not include them all here to avoid an increase in the volume of this book. The entire matter is explained in Bhagavad Gita as quoted above. The Lord reserves the right of not being exposed to everyone. He always keeps himself out of the vision of the non-devotee, who are devoid of love and devotion, and thus he puts them still further away from the Lord. The Lord appeared on the invitation of Brahma, who prayed before Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, and therefore, when the Lord appeared, all the form of Vishnu amalgamated with him, and when the mission was fulfilled, all of them disintegrated from him in the usual course. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyanajalashalakaya Shakshu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Caitanya Namanuvistam Shtaputam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadam Tikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saita Shri Krishna's Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kamshana Gorangira Devrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vangshakalpatarubhya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastai Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paskachade Jatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam Kodi Vachalam Pangum Langaya Tegim, Yakripata Mahambandai Shasti Guru Dejatarinam. Sukadev Goswami replied, "My dear king, the cursing of the Brahmanas was only a plea, but the actual fact was the supreme desire of the Lord. He wanted to disappear from the face of the earth after dispatching his excessively numerous family members. He thought to himself as follows." So that's a suspense, and of course, yesterday Parampa was giving class, and he went deep into the different acharyas, speaking about, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and now Srila Prabhupada is giving us all of them. And of course, he's giving it to us in a way that we can understand. And here it's very clear that he's saying that Srila Jiva Goswami and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, they go into it more deeply. And like Srila Prabhupada is kind of meeting us where we are at. He said, I didn't put that because it will be too voluminous. And also he said, because in the Bhagavad Gita, there is everything you need. That the Lord reveals himself only to those that he chooses to reveal himself to. So in this verse, it's like very clear that it's all about the desire of the Lord. And there is a lot to this purport, and I want to reveal my mind that what I want to speak about is tomorrow. So I want to speak about Lord Caitanya. And still I wanted to go along the Srimad Bhagavatam, and I found this verse and purport quite appropriate to go into Lord Caitanya, because like the Lord, Srila Prabhupada and the Lord, they are speaking about the desire of the Lord, and the Lord wanted to wind up his pastimes, and of course, when the Lord does something, he gives an external reason. There is always an external reason to everything he does. And the internal reason is very clear, it's his desire. And the internal reason is or is not revealed, but the external reason is revealed. So the external reason was the curse of the Brahmana. But of course, the Lord didn't need the curse of the Brahmana to unwind his pastimes. However, for the eyes of the witness, we need external appearance of the Lord. And then in this verse is really interesting, because in a word form, word spitam is translated as universal form. And in the verse itself, there's nothing about the universal form. It's just about the dispatching of his excessively numerous family members. And so it seems that there is a connection there that Srila Prabhupada makes, that to our eyes, the eyes of the non-believer, the eyes of those who are entrenched in the material energies, the Lord presents himself in his universal form and in these different forms, including his external form in the Virat Rupa. And the Virat Rupa, in fact, is the Lord is never different from his body. There is no such a thing as the Lord and his body. Like for us, we are made of a body made of the 5 gross elements and the 3 subtle elements, and then the soul, conditioned soul, like enters that according to the conditioned soul, previous activities, desire, deserve. And then, so there is a difference between who I am at the core and who this presentation, external presentation is. It's not the same. But for Krishna, there is no such a distinction. However, when he presents the universal form is a material form. And so in the material form, he does detach from the material form. And in fact, he's never identified. He's never identifying as a Virat Rupa or the universal form. So that's a case where the Lord, where there is a difference between, let's say, the body of the Lord and the Lord, because the Virat Rupa is a material form and the Lord is never material, he's always transcendental. And so here is a nice analogy of grammatical, like when you have an adjective and a noun, well, so the adjective can leave, but it doesn't change the noun. So Virat means universal and Rupa means form. So the form of the Lord is never changed. And when we take the adjective of universal, away, when he leaves the universal form, when he leaves, this material world, his form doesn't change. It just doesn't have the Virat anymore. So, how do we go to Lord Chaitanya? So also the Srila Prabhupada is quoting the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord doesn't, he doesn't reveal himself to anyone like that. He doesn't do that. He does only reveal himself to those who are imbued with love of God. And that love of God qualified us to receive knowledge of the Supreme. In the Srimad Brahma Samhita that Srila Prabhupada is hinting about is Advaitam Achyutam Ananda Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabha Adurlabham Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhakto Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajamin. So Advaitam is like oneness, and Achyutam is unfallible. So it's all those, that Brahma is describing. And Ananda Anantarupam is one, and Ananta means multitude, unlimited, Rupam. So it's one form and is unlimited form at the same time. And then it's always contradiction. Because after is Adyam Purashapu is the first one, and Purana Purusham Purana means old, like the Puranas, they are old stories, and Purusham, the Purusha, the supreme controller, and Navayovanam Shah, and is a blooming youth. So it's oldest and is a blooming youth all the time, and Vedeshu. Durlabha, and Vedeshu, from the Veda, Durlabha, it's very difficult to understand him. Durlabha means very difficult. And then Adurlabham, Atma Bhakto, and it's very not difficult. Atma Bhakto for the Bhakta. Adurlabham, not difficult for the Bhakta. So we can see from that verse, there's so many contradictions, and in a presentation of Krishna, and Krishna is like that. So in the verse, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada hint on the Srila Prabhupada hint on the is not haha. This is my transition. Srila Prabhupada said it doesn't reveal himself. It doesn't reveal himself to the non-devotee. And as we know, Lord Chaitanya's name is Shana Avatar. He's a Tri Yuga. He presents himself in Tri Yuga because he doesn't present himself in Kali Yoga as the Lord. He's a Shana. Shana means hidden. Is hidden, is like Prabhupada used a word in his purport. Let's see if I can find it quickly. He's not being exposed to everyone. So he's a Shana avatar. He comes on earth himself. Is Krishna himself is just yellow instead of black. And he comes on earth as a Shana, is unmanifested as the Lord. He only revealed to a few that is Lord Shri Krishna. To everybody else, and to us, we want to see him as being Krishna, manifesting himself as a devotee. Why? Because he's informed as a devotee, he shows us the way. Often Prabhupada in his classes, he said, Krishna comes, and he comes for 5,000 years ago for 125 years, and he says, Sarvadharmam parityajya ekam saranam bhaja, like surrender unto me, give up all other religion and surrender unto me. And Prabhupada often he said, we are not capable. We cannot just, only devotees can surrender to the Lord. We are not capable. So because of that, when the Lord went back, like we are seeing, like the disappearance of the Lord, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's explained that the Lord, he left his pastime, he left behind his pastime, and we know how time is conspicuous by his absence in the spiritual world. And he came to realization, oh God, I show them my pastimes, I show them how I relate to my devotees, I show them all the relationship I have with my mother, with my father, with my boyfriends, with nature, with the deers, with the cows. I show them a relationship with gopis, I show them a lot of things, but I didn't show them how to reach me. I didn't show them the process. So after he realized that, he came down. He came down again. It's just like, turn around and say, I need to go back. And then he came back as a Shana avatar. He came back as Lord Chaitanya to show us what's the process, the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya, to show us that process. So I want to start with a verse from the let's see if I can find it quickly. I know I want to start with the verse. I don't know where I find it. Let me see. So, with the 7 canto 20. Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't. Okay, I should be quick now. 7, 38. Oh, that's easy. So that's why I didn't write it down, because that's where I wanted to read from that book. So, okay. So right now, in my personal reading, I'm finishing the pastime of Lord Nrsimhadev, Prahlad Maharaj, and Lord Nrsimhadev pastime, and it's so relishable. I so much appreciate this pastime. It seems that the Srimad Bhagavatam, we can read it again and again and read those pastimes and hear those pastimes. How many times I heard those pastimes? I'm a devotee now for 35 years or so. Every year we celebrate Lord Nrsimhadev appearance day. I've seen plays, I listened to the pastime, I read it on the Bhagavatam and all that. And this time around, I relished it even more. It was so relishable. Anyway, when Lord Nrsimhadev, he finished doing his job of killing the demon, Prahlad Maharaj, he offered prayer to Lord Nrsimhadev. And one of his prayer, he said, and it's connected with what we are reading, that's why it's also a connection to Lord Chaitanya. So he said, like how you come in so many ways. And he said, in this way, Prahlad Maharaj speaking, my Lord, you appear in various incarnations as a human being, an animal, a great saint, a demigod, a fish, or a tortoise, thus maintaining the entire creation in different planetary systems and killing the demoniac principle. According to the age, O my Lord, you protect the principle of religion. In the age of Kali, so it's Prahlad Maharaj speaking. However, you do not assert yourself as the supreme personality of Godhead, and therefore you are known as the Tri Yuga, or the Lord who appeared in Tri Yuga. So even Prahlad Maharaj is like saying, in Kali Yuga, you're not going to come as a Lord, because in the previous verse, he speaks about Ayagriva, and how Ayagriva, the Lord Ayagriva, serves the Vedas. And serve Lord, like he protected Lord Brahma from the 2 demons that attacked Lord Brahma from behind. So at the end of the purport, Srila Prabhupada hinted to the fact that Krishna come on a plea of Lord Brahma. If you remember, Mother Earth was burdened by the military strength on earth. And she went to complain to Lord Brahma and said, I cannot do that anymore, it's too intense. And so she went to Lord Brahma and she said, you need to do something. And Lord Brahma said, I cannot really do anything. Let's go to Situadvip, to the Kshiro, to the ocean of milk, to pray to Lord Vishnu and ask for Lord Vishnu. And then the Lord Vishnu, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, on the ocean of milk, who live in Situadip, he responded to Brahma and Mother Earth, I'm going to come, and all you demigods, please start taking birth in a Yadu dynasty. As you know, the Yadu include the Bojas and the Vrishnis, like we spoke about yesterday. So take birth there, and then I'm going to take birth in the Yadu dynasty. So similarly, Advaita Acharya is the one who is at the origin of Lord Chaitanya coming. And this year I felt a pang of regret that that we didn't celebrate Advaita Acharya's appearance day. And usually it's really feel good when we celebrate Lord Advaita Acharya's appearance day, because he prepared us for the advent of Lord Chaitanya. And I wanted to catch up on that. So I'm going to read from the third chapter of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and about Advaita Acharyas, and how, in a similar way than Lord Brahma prayed to Lord Vishnu for Lord Krishna to come, he prayed for the Lord to come. He didn't pray for Lord Krishna per se, but Lord Vishnu or Krishna decided, I'm going to come in my original form. So similarly, Advaita Acharya is going to pray, and we are going to read about that part of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'm going to just chant one time in a call and response. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai
Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda.
Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Advaita Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Okay, so we are going to start on text 93. I'm not going to read the Bengali for each verse, but this one I will. Krishnaya di pritivite karena avatara pratame karena guru vargera samsara. Whenever Sri Krishna desires to maintain his incarnation on earth, first he creates the incarnation of his respectable predecessors. So it's, similar. He had the Yadu dynasty, he has his mother and father, and the mother and father of his mother and father, like that. So his predecessor, he created that they come. And yesterday we are speaking about Nitya Siddha. So that those they are eternally liberated souls, and they choose to come on earth to be part of Lord Krishna or Lord Chaitanya's advance. And that's so special, that the earth is inundated with residents from the spiritual world, all transcendental residents who come and they take, form as human beings, and they're all liberated soul, and they come on earth. They come to our earth, and they perform pastime with the Lords. And of course, right now they may be some too that are walking the earth. Pita Mata Guru Adi Yata Manyalgana Pratame Karena Sabara Pritivite Janmana. Thus, respectable personalities such as his father, mother, and spiritual master all take birth on earth first. So the other day we were reading from Krishna book, and with Anandini we have a conversation about the desire, like we speak about, mother or father, but what is the soul desire that creates the desire for service for the Lord, that create that soul take birth as a teacher of the Lord? That's something to think about. So I'm just going to read the verses. I'm not going to go into, right now, I'm not going to go into the purport because time is running. Mahavendra Puri, Ishwara Puri, Srimati Sakshi Mata, and Srila Jagannath Mishra all appear with Sri Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya having appeared, he found the world devoid of devotional service to Sri Krishna because people were engrossed in material affairs. So he came from the spiritual sky and he came here and he felt the pangs of that suffering. And he thought to himself, everyone was engaged in material enjoyment, whether sinfully or virtuously. See? Sinfully or virtuously, they were all engaged in material enjoyment. No one was interested in a transcendental service of the Lord, which can give total relief from the repetition of birth and death. Seeing the activities of the world, the Acharya felt compassion and began to ponder how he could act for the people's benefit. So we too, we can ponder, how can I act for the people's benefit? We too can meditate on feeling, experiencing the pain of this world. The pain of this world, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, there is only one thing that's missing here, is service to the Lord. In this age of Kali, so it said, in this age of Kali, there is no religion other than the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. But now in this age, will the Lord appear as an incarnation? I shall worship Krishna in a purified state of mind. I shall constantly petition him in humbleness. My name Advaita will be fitting if I am able to induce Krishna to inaugurate the movement of the chanting of the holy name. While he was thinking about how to propitiate Krishna by worship, the following verse came to his mind. Sri Krishna, who is very affectionate towards his devotees, said himself to a devotee who offers merrily a tulasi leaf and a palmful of water. I will repeat because it's so beautiful. Sri Krishna, who is very affectionate towards his devotees, sells himself to a devotee who offers merely a tulasi leaf and a palmful of water. Advaita Acharya considered the meaning of the verse in this way. Not finding any way to repay the debt he owes to one who offers him a tulasi leaf and water, Lord Krishna thinks, there is no wealth in my possession that is equal to a tulasi leaf and water. So we don't need to do big things or offer a lot of wealth or anything. There is no wealth, there is nothing. A tulasi leaf and water, of course, that need to be offered with love and devotion. Thou Krishna, thou Brahma Prabhu, I see your hand raised, and I will call on you at the end of the reading. Thus, the Lord liquidates the debt by offering his own self to the devotee. So he feels so indebted when we offer him a tulasi leaf and water that he needs to liquidate his debt by offering his own self to the devotee. Considering this, Acharya began worshipping the Lord. Thinking of the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, he constantly offered tulasi buds in water from the Ganges. He appealed to Sri Krishna with loud calls and thus made it possible for Krishna to appear. Therefore, the principal reason for Sri Chaitanya's descent is this appeal by Advaita Acharya. The Lord, the protector of religion, appears by the desire of his devotee. This is a quote from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.9.11. O my Lord, you always dwell in the vision and hearing of your pure devotees. You also live in the lotus arts, in their lotus arts, which are purified by devotional service. O my Lord, who are glorified by exalted prayers, you show special fervor to your devotee by manifesting yourself in the eternal form in which they welcome you. The essence of the meaning of this verse is that Lord Krishna appears in all his innumerable eternal form because of his desire of his pure devotees. Because of the desires of his pure devotees. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath. Always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas Kariviraj, narrate Sri Caitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. I'm going to go back a little bit because we have a little bit of more time. Just wanted to read that part because it was the most important. And I will go back to a text 77. Sankirtana Pavartaka Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sankirtanya Yagyetan Rebaje Sedaniya. Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya is the initiator of Sankirtan, congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. One who worships him through Sankirtan is fortunate indeed. So tomorrow we are going to worship him and do a lot of Sankirtan, congregational chanting of the holy name. And such a person is truly intelligent, whereas others who have but a poor fund of knowledge must endure a cycle of repeated births and deaths of all sacrificial performance. The chanting of the Lord's holy name is the most sublime. One who says that 10 million of Ashwamedha sacrifices are equal to the one who says that 10 million Ashwamedha sacrifices are equal to the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna is undoubtedly an atheist. He is sure to be punished by Yamaraj. In the auspicious, I must have missed something. One who says that 10 million of Ashwamedha sacrifices are equal to the chanting. Okay, yeah, it's not equal. It's surpassing. It's surpassing 10 million of Ashwamedha sacrifice. And the Ashwamedha sacrifice is like in Dwapar Yoga, it's considered like the highest form of sacrifice. It requires like billions of dollars, ghee and gold, and 1 million of Ashwamedha sacrifice is not equal to the chanting of the holy name. In the auspicious introduction to Bhagavad Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami has given the following verse as an explanation. A text chapter of Lord Shri Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is outwardly of a fair complexion, but inwardly Krishna himself. In this age of Kali, he displays his expansion, his anga and upangas, by performing congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. In the Upa Puranas, we hear Sri Krishna showing his mercy to Vyasadeva by speaking to him as follows. O learned Brahmana, sometime I accept the renounced order of life to induce the fallen people of the age of Kali to accept devotional service to the Lord. So at the dawn of creation, they speak like that to Vyasadeva. And the Lord Chaitanya appears only once in a day of Brahma. Once in a day of Brahma. So how fortunate we are. And one day of Brahma is 1,000 cycles of the 4 yugas. And one cycle of the 4 yugas, 340 million years, something like that. So that's 1 yugas. And so 1,000 of yugas comprise 1 day of Brahma. 1 day of Brahma. And in 1 day of Brahma, in the middle of his day, around 12, Lord Chaitanya comes in Kali Yuga of that one day of Brahma. And we are so fortunate, isn't it? We are on this earth 500 years after the advent of Lord Chaitanya. We are so fortunate to be able to speak about Lord Chaitanya, to know about Lord Chaitanya, to be part and to take part of Lord Chaitanya's birthday and appearance and pastimes. When we engage in the Sankirtan movement, we are in the pastime of Lord Chaitanya. Okay, we have there's many comments, so I didn't read all of them. Okay, well, okay, so it's okay. I will just continue. Whether I lost my track. Yeah. So one in a day of Brahma. So what is said in Ashwamedha sacrifice that like millions of Ashwamedha sacrifice. If someone say who speak, I think it's Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, but I'm not sure. I don't remember where it is. I don't remember who speaks, but if it's Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami or is quoting someone, he said, if someone says that 1 million of Ashwamedha sacrifice is equal to the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, he is considered an atheist. He is considered an atheist. Anyway, so that's how fortunate we are. And the chanting of the holy name of the Lord cleans the heart. Chetodapanamarjanam bhavadavagni nirvapanam Shreya karyava chandrika vitaranam vidya vadauchivanam Anantya buddhivadanam patitanam punamita swadanam Sarvatmas naparam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. This is the first verse of the 8 verses that Lord Chaitanya gave us. And tomorrow, I think Mother Damayanti is going to give a class on those 8 verses, because that's the only thing that Lord Chaitanya wrote
No,
for.
not me.
Oh, I thought you will. So someone is going to give a class on Shikshastakam, and the Shikshastakam is perfect. He gives us the map of devotional service. He gives us the map, and starting with chanting, cleansing the heart from all the dust accumulating for lifetimes, and extinguishes the fire of the burning fire of material life, of repeating births and deaths. So Lord Chaitanya is so kind. He comes in the guise of a devotee, and he comes to deliver us by now we can recite it together. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Twise Namaha. So this verse says that Lord Chaitanya is the most magnanimous of all incarnations. Of all the incarnations spoken in this Srimad Bhagavatam, it said, the Lord come in an unlimited amount of form. Anantarupam, unlimited form. And of all those forms, the most magnanimous, the most compassionate is Lord Chaitanya, because he gives freely what no other incarnation have ever given. He gives freely love of God. Krishna Prema Padayati. Hare Krishna. Thank you. I wish you a wonderful celebration of Lord Chaitanya. Shri Go Purnim tomorrow. I don't know if in Europe it's tomorrow or today, but anyhow, for us it's tomorrow. Or it's Tuesday, it's one day later. Go figure. Lord Nityananda was one day earlier, and Lord Nityananda, so Tuesday for those in Europe. Ladini Shakti Prabhu, you are in Vrindavan. I don't know when it is. And Tuesday too. Hare Krishna.
But we are already preparing tomorrow.
Good. All preparing tomorrow. And I imagine you are preparing with the Aksharya Patra's temple. How fortunate.
Yes.
How fortunate. How fortunate. So I'm reading the verse again. Shri Shuka Uvacha Brahma Shapa Padeshena Kalena Mogavam Chitaha Samritya Swakulam Spitam Jaksham Deham Achintayat. Sri Shukadev Goswami replied, "My dear king, the cursing of the Brahmanas was only a plea, but the actual fact was the supreme desire of the Lord. He wanted to disappear from the face of the earth after dispatching his excessively numerous family members. He thought to himself as follows." So, as follow, next week, come for the next episode of our Srimad Bhagavatam reading. Hare Krishna, Daru Krishna, Daru Prabhu, Daru Brahma Prabhu, you have your hand raised.
You were talking earlier about in the sage where Chaitanya avatars Chana. I think it's word was Chana, or what was the word? Hidden?
Chana avatar,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, did you explain why? Quick, why did you do it hidden? Did you do that, or I missed it? If you did, can you explain that?
Why is he hidden? He didn't come as the Lord. He didn't come as Krishna, and because he wanted to spread the holy name of the Lord, and he wanted to do that, as a devotee of the Lord. Because by doing that, like when he came as Krishna, then he was Krishna, and he was interacting with his eternal associate in his eternal relationship with them in Vrindavan. And then he came back to show us how to worship Krishna. So he came as a devotee of Krishna for us to follow him and do as he does. Because we cannot do as he does. We cannot lift Govardhan hill with our pinky. We cannot dance with 108,000 unlimited amount of gopis. We cannot do anything that Krishna does, what he was on a planet. But when he comes as a devotee of the Lord, when he comes as a devotee of himself, which is an external reason, there is external reason and there is an internal reason. We didn't touch on the internal reason. Maybe we will tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. But we are looking at the external reason. The external reason is he wanted to show how to worship himself, how to serve him by taking the position of the devotee of the Lord and by spreading the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. And because he's the Lord, is all attractive. If you will remember in a Brahma Vimohan Lila, like the inhabitants of Vrindavan didn't know that their cows and their little boy were Lord Krishna, but they were naturally attracted to them, even so they were hidden. They were Chana avatar too, but they were naturally attracted. So of course the Lord is the Lord when he comes as a devotee, and everybody is attracted to him, and he shows how to serve the Lord using that attraction that people had for him. And only to a few he revealed there is a Mahaprakash pastime where 21 hours, for 21 hours he revealed himself, even show his Sadbhuja form during those 21 hours to his most intimate devotees. He revealed himself as Krishna.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Just wanted to it came to my mind that someone wants to answer that in an interesting way, and I wondered if any of you've heard it, either just Dear Govinda or yourself. But like someone said, well, it's because Kali Yuga is so nasty that if it directly said in the Kali age it will be Caitanya, then you get 3 zillion millions, people saying I'm Caitanya. Just like we clearly have Christ as the incarnation of Kali for the Christians, and so how many so-called reincarnations like David Koresh and even Charlie Manson who claim to be Christ reincarnated? I mean, there's millions of them. We don't see too many devotees claiming to be Lord Chaitanya, because it's not so easy. Because they made it in such a way it's not so easy to get away with it. But I hadn't heard of any reason why he specifically did it hidden beyond the fact that it's such a nasty age, it would be misused somehow otherwise. That's the only thing I knew. But anyhow.
Yeah. So in in the 20th chapter of Madhya Lila, we just studied, that's why it's fresh in my mind, the Lord himself is speaking to Sanatan Goswami, and he's going there exactly. He said, and it's a funny dialogue because it's kind of joking, because the Lord is speaking how we recognize an incarnation. We recognize by his external features that are described in a Veda and his behavior, and both need to be there. And then Sanatan Goswami, he kind of want to poke into Lord Chaitanya to say, well, you know, like, so in this Kali Yoga, you know, who is it? You know, like that, a little bit like that, cheeky. And then Lord Chaitanya goes and he quotes different verses from the Shastra. And one of them is Krishna Varnam Tusa Krishna, Sangha Panga Parshadam, Yage Sankirtana Prayer, Yajantihi Sumeda Saha. In the age of Kali, intelligent person perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Also, his complexion is not blackish. He is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associate, servant, weapons, and confidential companions. So there may be an incarnation, and maybe ignorant people follow them. But those who are going to take shelter of what the Lord said to take shelter of, to understand an incarnation, they will understand that those people, they are not spreading the holy name of the Lord, or they are not, you know, blackish, yellow complexion, or they are not following into the exact description from the Veda. So if they compare the incarnation with what the Veda is giving us, the Shastra is from Srimad Bhagavatam, there is something from the Puranas, there is something from the Smriti also. Let's see if I found one from Shvetasvatara Upanishad. So Upanishads are Shrutis, original Vedas. Mahan Prabhu Vaipurusha, Mahaprabhu Lord Chaitanya, is indeed the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in the Shastra, it's also said, you know, where he's born, who is his mother, the name of his mother, a name of the father, everything is revealed. And so we cannot simply accept an incarnation because it says they're an incarnation. And in fact, in that chapter, Lord Chaitanya said, if someone says I'm God, he's not an incarnation of God. That's it. You know, in a sense, it's simple. Lord Chaitanya is telling us how to recognize. And so I encourage you to read that chapter 20 of Madhya Lila, because Lord Chaitanya goes very, very deep into that.
Just to get that clearly, you're saying that, who was that Sanatan Goswami was talking with him, right?
He's speaking to Sanatan Goswami.
And so Sanatan's trying to get the Lord to admit, well, yeah, I am the one for the sake, but the Lord keeps avoiding it. That's the point. I mean,
yeah,
okay.
There's some cheeky strands like that. And, you know, still the Lord do give a lot of evidence of who he is without saying who he is. When Sanatan Goswami spoke like that, then the Lord gave a lot of different verses coming from the Veda and some from the Upanishads that are Shrutis, original Vedas, that show who he is without saying it. And then he changed the topic and said, oh, let's speak about the Satyadvaita avatar. I think that's where he goes. He changed the topic after that. When Sanatan Goswami said, okay, so that's you, he said, come on, let's speak about something else. So it's funny. It's a funny exchange.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comment, question? I'm looking forward to tomorrow for sure. 2 participants raised hand. Okay. Oh, Ladini Shakti Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I really appreciate you went to Lord Amrita today for the class. I have to say the sound was on and off, so I didn't hear completely everything. But yeah, that we went to Lord Advaita the day before. That's really fun. Like chronology, it's a good chronology. I find it a good chronology. And yeah, that he was praying and that's very inspiring. I'm like thinking after I come back to create a praying group and just like really like the whole intention for Srila Prabhupada's mission, like to spread more widely and so yeah, it's so cool. And Lord Advaita, maybe we cannot do it as one person, but as a group, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, we can do as a group. I'm in your group, praying for you know, like the golden age to rise, praying for Lord Chaitanya's movement, aided by Srila Prabhupada to manifest all over the world, to have a vision to hold, you know, like what people do in business. They gather a lot of people and they create masterminding. And then if everybody kind of put all their mind on clear intention, and everybody's, you know, where we put our consciousness, it's what grows. It's the principle of clear intention, where we put our consciousness. So if you have a big group all putting our consciousness for the rise of Srila Prabhupada, glorified all over the world, then that's potent, that have powerful power.
Yeah. So let's like let's have a, how is it called, like a dragon or something? They call this business meeting something. Anyway, so I want to create that for sure.
Masterminding for holding in our mind like Srila Prabhupada being famous all over the world. And of course, if Srila Prabhupada is famous, you know, like people who are encountering Srila Prabhupada and love Srila Prabhupada will give them Krishna. We just need them to give them Prabhupada. Thank you. Very inspiring. It's a nice prayer to start our Go-Poning festivities, to like want to be an instrument of prayers like Advaitacharya. Advaitacharya is so like, oh my God, pious or impious people, all the same, they have forgotten, you know, the purpose of human life. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that he's praying for like Lord Chaitanya to come to do something about it. He's not like trying to do something himself.
Yeah, and he has the power because he's also a Vishnu Tattva. He's also, you know, is Mahavishnu. He's really Mahavishnu. So he has so much power, but he is not saying how will deliver everyone.
Prabhupada, they, you know, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was praying for someone to come like that.
Yeah, exactly. He could have done it himself, but it was in his service. And our service is to glorify Srila Prabhupada and to make Srila Prabhupada famous, to make that everybody come under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada because it's a safe place to repose their faith. It's a safe boat to cross the ocean of material suffering. A sure safe space, like a guaranteed, proven, guaranteed boat. Hare Krishna. Thank you. It's nice to see you, Nadine. Hare Krishna. Anything else?
Did you say that the 21 days of Lord Chaitanya, 21 hours of Chaitanya revealing, was that in was it Jagannath Puri?
Yes. Mahaprakash pastime. And that's where he revealed his Sadbuch form with 6 arms. Yeah. Krishna and Lord Chaitanya.
And then, so talking about like the Lord preparing for his appearance, and so Vaidacharya is part of that, like initiating that. But then also like the Lord is creating that the big Acharya comes first, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
It's all going on according to the desire of Krishna. That's the theme of our verse today. That the Yadu didn't need the Brahman to curse them, and the little kid didn't need to play that prank on the Brahmans and get the wrath of the Brahmans. And all that is desired by Krishna. That's how externally it takes place. So similarly, like Krishna is and it's pastimes. Otherwise, otherwise what? Otherwise, it's impersonalism. When we go into it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like, then we go into nothingness or impersonalism. So the Lord of desire, and he does things the way he chooses to do things. And he sent Advaitacharya, and Advaitacharya comes, and Olga is so repulsed by what he sees, and he feels so helpless. And you remember, oh, the Lord will give himself to anyone who worship him with tulasi leaf and water. I'm going to do that. And like that, he was going to be obliged to do what I want. And what I want is for him to come. Yeah.
thank you. Questions?
Thank you. And Dini Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, I have 2 comments. Thank you for your class. It was inspiring. And I was, like when you said it's Lord Brahma's lunchtime when Sri Chaitanya appears.
It's noon. I don't know if it takes
Noon. Well, but yeah, noon, middle of the day, midday. Yeah. And I was just, like I'm looking through Caitanya Charitamrita to find something that we can read here or that I could give class on. And I noticed there's so many quotes from conversations between Lord Brahma and Krishna in Caitanya Charitamrita. And I was wondering why. And as you were speaking, I thought, well, it makes sense. Like Lord Brahma, he has the overview of the universe, and Krishna gives him like a preview of what is going to happen in his life, in his day. So he's saying, okay, and around noon, I will come as Lord Chaitanya. It's just fun to think this way.
Yeah.
And something else, I've been wondering about why do I have so much resistance? And many that I know, there's so much resistance towards Lord Krishna or God killing. Like, why would God kill? It's horrible. You don't kill, so why would God kill? And just as you were speaking, and it's not for everyone. I mean, some feel attracted to Lord Ramachandra, who's, killing all the time. So, yeah. And so I thought, well, perhaps it's because we're looking for Lord Chaitanya. Perhaps that's the reason, maybe that's where the resistance comes from.
It's a resistance to surrender. That Prabhupada says that. Yeah. Our resistance to surrender to Lord Shri Krishna. We don't want to surrender to him. And part of that is resisting him in his pastimes when he kills the demons. Because he only kills the demons, he doesn't kill anybody else. Personally. Yeah. And
but what I mean is that as Lord Chaitanya, he's not killing.
Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada said, like, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita said, surrender unto me. And we are resisting that surrender. One way we are resisting is by, resisting the killing of the demons in our heart. Because Srila Prabhupada said, because we are not devotees. And so Lord Chaitanya came for the non-devotees, the people who are not capable of surrender, the people who are like still so engrossed in their material conception that they are not able to surrender to the Lord. And Lord Chaitanya comes for us because we are not devotees. And he comes and he freely gives love of God. And of course, we know the pastime of Jagan and Madai. They were so terrible. They were acting in a way that was like most and famous all around of Nadia. They were raping and stealing and drinking and you name it, sinful to the core. And Lord Chaitanya, through Lord Nityananda, Adi Guru, through the Guru, he saved Jagannath Madai. And so that's why Lord Chaitanya make himself available and attractive to us. That's why we are attracted to him, because he makes himself attractive to us. Because Krishna will not necessarily, will have some resistance to surrender to Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya, he bypassed all that in his choice of coming as Lord Chaitanya to attract us. And that's why we are attracted to him, because he's making himself attractive to the non-devotees, to the most fallen. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. So that's why it's not, oh, we are attractive. No, he makes himself attractive. And then the result is that we are attractive. It's an effect, not the cause. Yeah. The cause is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who's the four causes? Sarva Karana Karanam.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Well, if no, I would like to comment a little on what Anand told me, if I may.
Yeah, please.
Well, I want to say that actually, of course, I resist death, and especially when Krishna kills in the form of time. But Krishna personally killing, that feels really attractive to me. So I want to say that, like killing the demons, it's great. I mean, like let's say someone is wanting to like kill me, and the police comes, like, oh no, hearted people are not like going to kill the person who is trying to kill you, because that would be mean or something. I would not be very happy about it. So like Krishna is killing the demon, like he's protecting the devotees, at least in his personal form, and I really like that. I don't know, it feels like a hero.
So you appreciate the killing, the killing of Krishna, and Krishna killed only very special soul. That's also to be remembered. He doesn't kill anybody, because when he kills someone, he gives them full liberation. I will not mind being killed by Krishna really directly, rather than, by his external energy through the cycle of birth and death, because I'm contaminated and I'm completely engrossed in this machine. And, he appears as time, as you said, in external form. And to be killed by Krishna is such a boom. Yeah, so like often when people come to at least to the Bhakti Yoga retreat on the altar, I point them out to Lord Nishingadev, because I know people are like, oh, this God is doing something like crushing someone with his nail and taking out the intestine and putting it around his neck. Oh, gruesome. And I'm like, this is not a way to kill someone anyway. and then when we go into the details, then people really appreciate. Yeah. The Lord appearing to protect his little devotee Prahlad. Yeah.
Yeah, the killing by time, I by Krishna, it sounds great. And yeah, as you said, it's by Krishna now, then by time 20 years from now.
Yeah, I will not mind. But I will not mind if I have a very nice rasa with Krishna. When it's just like, because, Krishna also wrestled with his boyfriends, coward boyfriends. So that's a little different. But he does come here and he enjoys the pastime of killing the demons. Because in the spiritual world, those pastimes don't exist. So his eternal pastime in the material world allow, for other pastime to take place, like the killing of the demons.
Yeah, or with Bhishma, the Bhishma pastime. So.
The Bhishma pastime is so beautiful too. Yeah. So many, Bhishma really wanted to be killed by Krishna. He wanted, he was like, please kill me, I want to be killed by you. Yes. But Krishna didn't. He just threatened to, but he didn't. Hare Krishna. Entourage Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Shri Gopunim ki jai. Lord Chaitanya ki jai. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.